We have no clue what we're doing, but this sure is fun. Welcome to the Family Football Podcast, brought to you by Dub Street. Okay, so week 4 of the...
Is it week 4 already? Wow, we're doing
good.
I
think it's week 4 already for us.
Hey, and we've been appreciating the amount of family banter. We had a great group chat this week. Wishing happy birthday to Brian. Do a little bit of smack talking.
Big 3-4.
It was great. So I'm really excited that these podcasts have actually kind of created a little bit of energy with the family.
And just so we're not confused, like 30 years in the future watching these things, this is week 11 of season 8. So
season 8.
This is the last week before playoffs hit. Last week.
So review last week. We picked a pretty great matchup between Brian and Julie, and did they deliver?
Holy smokes. They were within 0.08 points of each other, which, like, if you've been, like, paying careful attention in the league, there's only a few positions that can actually get down to, like, the 100th position in scoring. So the fact that, like, a quarterback, which that week was
a
mess. Yeah, we're getting there. But the fact that, like, a quarterback or pretty much, like, won or lost that game on 0.08 points, whoa, that's insane. So that was the game of the week we called last week, and did we deliver? We can thank LT Gray, our stats guy in the back there. He's crunching the numbers, making sure we bring you good quality content, and that this is the greatest podcast.
The greatest podcast, you think?
Yeah,
so?
It's the greatest one that our family has at the moment. So
good point.
Yeah, so we're basically number 1 in the family, and that's where we intend to stay in terms of podcast ratings.
And then last week kind of narrowed down the playoff race even further. So we don't need an intense stats matchup because it's a pretty easy discussion. So where we're at right now is the top 5 that were, as of going into week 11, have stayed the same. And the only people that are really fighting for the playoffs now are Julie and Jenna, and then the rest is kind of up to seeding. And
Jenna's the outside horse on this one, because if Julie just gets a win this week, then Jenna can't win that. Because right now Jenna's 5-5. Julie is 6-4, so if Julie gets the win, that's it. It's even a worse thing for Jenna at this point, because you and I are both 6-4. Don't ask us how that happened. We are leading this league, people.
We actually need to start. I suggested we started off this podcast by pretending that we died because we both fell. But he thought that was too theatrical.
Maybe injured, but not dead. Because even if Amanda and I lose this week, we'll be 6-5. But our points for are like 130 or like 190 higher than Jenna's, so
I want
she's
you
not
guys
catching
to know that we've gotten multiple requests from Gregory to stop smack talking.
No. I live for this smack talk. Like, when the year ends here, I'm literally just writing down, like, clever things to say. None of them are very clever, but it's really because I keep falling in the rankings so hard. I guess that's a self-talk.
I mean, if there was... What is the point of fantasy football if you can't trash talk? And trash talking is good regardless of how well you're doing.
Even if you have to eat all of your words, because whenever you call out Uncle Rob for making what appears to you to be a completely insane trade to Brian, and then Juju Smith-Schuster ends up putting 20-some points up anyways, and Uncle Rob looks like the genius he is.
Well, Claypool also put up 20 points, so Rob would have destroyed me if he had Claypool.
Oh, yeah, but Peaks of the week.
Oh, yeah, Peaks of the week. That
Rob destroyed you anyways.
Subject. Hey, Peaks of the week. Rob gets high score.
Yeah,
132.6. He had the best score of the week. Good job, Rob. He would have beaten anyone. He just happened to beat me.
Yeah, because, you're not very good at fantasy football.
Fine. Whatever. The biggest loss goes to William, who lost by 50 points. Gregory delivered him a nice loss. But Will only put up 81, so Will didn't really help himself.
Yeah, right.
Best player was kind of a toss-up between Tom Brady with Anthony. This is a really poor week of quarterbacks, and Anthony had one of the best quarterbacks and still managed to lose. So, Anthony, we are not impressed.
If you actually look at pretty much every team that lost this past week, it was all due to a quarterback fiasco. There were only a few quarterbacks.
Well, we'll get into when we get to the worst player. We'll get into some deep dive.
Let's talk about worst players. Ugh.
But we also another best player of the week was Rob's Ben Roethlisberger, who also scored 37 points.
And who Uncle Rob has been drafting for the past millennia because Big Ben.
Big Ben.
So.
But so our actual worst player was Carolina's defense.
Yeah, they put up, what, negative?
-5. So good job on that selection, Annie.
Yeah.
But I would like to say that the worst player really comes down to quarterbacks. And there were 6 starting quarterbacks that scored 10 or less points.
I played one of them.
Carson Wentz, Russell Wilson, Nick Foles, Derek Carr, Jared Goff, and Baker Mayfield all delivered 10 points or less.
Why?
With Nick Foles coming in at the worst with 2.4. Oh, just kidding. Oh, no, that's 10.5. I can't read my writing. 2.4, Nick Foles was the worst Will picked. I would like to say, when Brandon and I did our pick 6 last week, Brandon said that he thought Nick Foles was going to do fine.
I thought...
He also thought Jared Goff was going to go
yes,
off.
Jared Goff should have gone off last week. He didn't. He went Goff. Nick Foles should have been able to hold his own in that game. And then I actually thought that Carson Wentz was going to have a decent matchup.
All of the people you picked tanked.
Yes. And
helped deliver people losses.
And in one case, like... Julie scraped free because she was playing Carson Wentz, right? I believe.
Yeah, but she was playing Brian, who played
Baker Mayfield. Well, and some of that's like definitely on Brian for playing Baker Mayfield. But the other thing you have to watch out for is Baker's game last week was played at home in Cleveland. And when they're on the lake, they can get some crazy weather out there.
They had a weather delay.
They had a weather delay, and once you start getting wind conditions that are kind of above like 15 miles per hour, quarterbacks traditionally have like a huge fall off in fantasy, just because it's hard to throw the ball in that kind of wind. And they had wind that was like 30 plus miles per hour, so it was definitely a slow game.
But for the record, I'd like to say that in last week's segment, Pick 6, I got 5 right, 1 wrong. Brandon didn't do so well.
Yeah, I went 2 and 4. Okay, but we still have this week where I'm gonna pull it all back.
Yeah, so that's our next segment, Pick 6.
So let's roll into a Pick 6 here. Who do you want to do first? We got 6 games this week. Do you just want to do the easiest one to call first?
What's that?
That's me versus Ant-Man. That's me versus Ant-Man.
Well, Anthony, I'm sorry. I just can't really root for you.
I'm winning this one. First, it's a game that has no meaning because Ant-Man's already out of the playoffs. He's 4-6 right now.
Projected a solid 30 points lower than you.
He's projected a solid 30 below me. And I've already got DK Metcalf putting up 13.6. So Anthony, I don't think it's happening.
It's not gonna work out.
Let's see. Who do you want to do next? You want to do Rob and Will?
Yep, Rob and Will. A matchup for the ages.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter. Do we even need to pick a Pick 6 for this one?
You know what? A 1-9 team playing a 2-8 team. A combined 3 wins.
I'm going to give Rob my resounding yes. Oh, hold on.
What is this?
What's going on?
We've got a call coming in here. What is going on here? Let's check this. Oh, look at this! It's the commish.
It's the commish. Coming in for the commissioner's corner, but a little bit early.
Okay, so we're doing some Pick 6 right now, Gregaluch. And between Uncle Rob and Will, who do you think's gonna take it this week?
That is a battle in the basement right there.
I gotta give it to Rob after defeating me so well, and I shouldn't have beat William, but still managed to pull that one off. So if Rob's got this, he has to.
You know what? I think it's going to be Rob, and I hate to say this, but I think Big Ben is actually playing phenomenally right now.
It is a trap game.
And
the Jaguars.
It is the Jaguars, which is traditionally a trap game in Pittsburgh, but I think Ben's going to do it. I just think...
Gregaluch, what are you thinking?
Is he going to play Big Ben or is he going to play Lamar? He's got both of them, and he's been...
Currently, Big Ben's in his lineup. So I'm going to go with what he's got on this Saturday night here.
It worked for him last week. I know you were waiting for him to play Lamar last week, and he played Big Ben, and it worked out.
Which was a good move.
William's been on the struggle bus. Sorry, William. I'm going on Rob.
All right. Yeah. What about me versus Nick? This is a big game, by the way. If I win, I'll clinch second seed.
And the bye.
If Nick wins, he'll likely clinch the bye.
Get the second seed in the bye. That is a big game. I don't know. What's the projections at right now?
Projection for Amanda's 127, Nick's 120, so a touchdown differential.
And we've already played a lot of players.
They've already played both of their quarterbacks who put up near identical numbers.
Yep. 24.
Amanda's already played Lockett and Christian Kirk. Lockett put up 21.7. Kirk put up 9. I think this all comes down to, does Deontay Johnson for Pittsburgh, does he put up a multi-touchdown game against Jacksonville? Or does Dalvin Cook go off?
Yeah. So...
I know Nick's leading in the standings right now between him and Amanda, but I'm going Amanda on this one.
Yes.
She's been scoring a lot more points on average.
You know what? Dalvin Cook is playing Dallas this week. I think Dalvin Cook is going to get, and this is my wonderful projection of the week. I think Dalvin Cook is going to come away with 2 touchdowns and 130 yards.
This is good, because if anything happened like last week, he's going to get like nothing.
Yeah, I think Dalvin Cook is going to go bananas in this game, and I think Thielien's going to get starved out.
Nah, Thielen did good last week. All right, next matchup. Gregory versus Jenna. Jenna. This is another big one. Jenna's on a roll.
Needs the win.
And she needs this.
And she's projected to win now, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, by a lot.
By a lot. How does that make you feel, Kamish? You're in charge of this league. Don't you even know how to play football?
I feel good about this one. I'm going to go Jenna's going to win it.
I think Jenna's going to win it.
I really hope she wins it because I need her to win this game. Okay, so I'm going with Jenna to win this one.
Julie versus Annie. I gotta go Julie. Julie's been pretty good. Oh, Annie's projected to win.
Annie's projections are better right now,
but
but
Julie already put up 16 points on her flex. That's good.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be Julie, and here's why. Miami's playing Tua as their quarterback, and I don't think he's going to do anything great there.
And Julie controls her own destiny, right, in terms of playoffs. She
Yes.
wins and she's in.
Winning in.
Jenna it's between her and Jenna right now, right?
Yeah.
Jenna's got to win and Julie's got to lose, and there's a point differential there, right?
Yeah.
It's only 5. It's a point
only-
differential of 5.
It's very makeable.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm saying Julie wins this though. I think she's gonna clinch her playoff spot. I think she's got this.
Well, Gregory, you know I'm a big proponent of new winners every time. So
I know. So I'm looking for Julie, right?
too.
To have a 50% chance of a new winner.
Right.
That'd be 3, right?
So I'm-
Me, you, and Julie. I agree.
I like Jenna's as a comeback story because if you look at those the final projections, which I don't really understand them in ESPN, but nonetheless, they thought Jenna was bad at the beginning of the season, and she is really rose in the ranks. So
That's that waiver wire moves. That's
but
the
I
waiver
can't
wire.
I can't root for her only because I feel very strongly I want a new winner every year.
Nah. We should have a multi-champion winner. Someone that does it 2 times, maybe 3 next year. Who
Another
knows?
game that doesn't matter is Brian versus Chris.
Yeah, Brian, unfortunately, by losing last week, you were out of the playoff run.
And Chris is totally locked.
Chris is locked into a bye.
Yeah, so he doesn't care at this point. Whatever team he's putting out there has no meaning. He's just looking for playoff runs.
I think Brian's gonna win.
Yeah, I think Brian has a really good shot of winning this week, but
he's got Mahomes. Mahomes is on bye. James Conner's gonna do nothing. But he got Claypool now.
In an interesting note, though, if you've not been following the Saints quarterback who I traded a top tight end to Julie
Oh, you
for
did?
Drew Brees. Yeah, I gave her Hawkinson for Drew Brees. Brees has 5 broken ribs and a collapsed lung. So that was a great trade. But because of that, I picked up, in a desperation play, I picked up both Jameis Winston, their possible backup, and Taysom Hill, who is going to be their backup as of Friday. And he is listed in ESPN as a tight end right now. He's a tight end. So I'm going to play 2 quarterbacks this week, one in my quarterback spot and one in my tight end spot, and destroy Anthony.
It's okay.
Change that rule so
You can't. ESPN has it listed like that, but they're gonna change him after this week. But the thing is in terms of looking at Chris this week on his pick, Taysom Hill might be just throwing dump passes to Alvin Kamara for an hour of the game, and Chris has Alvin Kamara, so Chris might actually pull out this game on Brian. But I do think it's gonna be Brian this week.
All right, so are we up for our next segment?
Yeah, let's roll into Commissioner's Corner. We got the commish right here. We just saw some of his picks.
We wanted to talk a little bit about, our conspiracy.
Hey, last week on your podcast, there were some outrageous accusations and allegations of cheating and fraudulent, or just.
Those were well-researched, well-founded.
No, give him his time. Give him his time.
Okay.
It's Commission's Corner.
Conspiracy theories will not be tolerated. And I just want to clear the air.
We are an educated bunch. We shouldn't accept conspiracy theories.
Well, it can't.
As commissioner of my other family league, I had some managers who were paying more close attention than some of our managers here in this league.
You think some of them don't pay attention?
What's that?
I'm joking.
And we're requesting the addition of some injured reserve spots due to so many players starting to go out on COVID, their COVID IR reserves, and also then bench spots. And there's a weird balance, too, that you have to have enough bench slots in order to get someone into an IR slot. So, number one, I reverted the bench slots back to the original ESPN default. So I added 2 back in, and then also added in the 2 IR spots.
So you can only get IR with big benches.
Well, you can only easily slot people into IR with a larger bench size.
Because we actually like the IR, but we don't like the bench.
Yeah, I kind of do like the IR because, especially with this year with COVID, like it's super needed in that regard. Like you got someone who's all of a sudden on IR, like out. But it will be interesting, thinking about for next year, assuming things go back to normal. Is a 5-person bench, which we had last year, do we want to stick with that? Or do we want to stay with these large benches? I know I mentioned this before, but I've talked to some of the family, and having the large benches, it can get hard during a waiver wire pickup to find anybody because as soon as the large benches opened, everybody took another 2 players. Like,
believe me, I don't think anyone wants to go back to the large bench where Amanda was streaming defenses and all that.
4 weeks ahead of time.
I do that. I actually tried to pick up 4 defenses, and it was like, you can't have that many defenses in your team. I actually got an error that was like, you have too many defenses.
You're looking for a playoff run. You want defenses. Yeah, so...
She was playing chess, and everyone else was playing checkers, right?
Yeah, everybody else is guessing at fantasy football.
So, I would like to take a poll on the benches, but at the end of the day, this is not a democracy, this is a dictatorship. And I will make a final decision on how many bench slots and IR slots.
I actually think I called you out at your wedding. I was like, Gregory, what games you changed the benches? And you were like, yeah, I'm in charge, and I'm allowed to do that. And I was like, okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool beans. Well, thanks for stopping by, Kamish. Always happy to have you on the channel. And
family, let's keep this group chat going. It's pretty funny. I think we gotta add some people. We need to get the whole
there are a few people that we don't have their numbers, so they're like off of this group chat right now. So
we should get them in there.
If you've got them, like restart the group chat with their numbers. And if you if you want to be in the commission seat right now on the podcast, like let us know, and maybe we'll get you in here. Okay, but bye, Kamish.
Thanks for joining us.
And I know we're not going to see family this year, so I want to wish everyone very happy and healthy Thanksgiving. So wish we could see everyone, but COVID. So
we've been making Aunt Teresa's pumpkin roll.
Oh yeah,
it's super good. I've made it twice now.
The first time, and Chris and Anthony, you'll immediately recognize this. The first time she forgot the vanilla.
Well, no, I didn't forget it. I did not forget it.
She didn't have it.
I went to the grocery store to buy vanilla. They didn't have it, and I was like, I'm not going to another grocery store.
Webster's took all the vanilla.
I know.
Really?
So I was like, it was a small grocery store I went to, but nonetheless, I was like, fine, we'll just make it without it. So it was not an omission.
Yeah, it wasn't an omission. We just didn't have it. But it was the first thing that I noticed.
And then I also rolled it the wrong way.
Yeah, but
this time I did. I know. Look at his face.
That just means she got to make another one, and I had it tonight, and it was so good. It was so good. So yeah.
I've been making Aunt Teresa's pumpkin roll in absence of the Filippo time.
Yeah. But yeah, you have a happy Thanksgiving too, Kamish.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone.
Really enjoyed the podcast, other than these ridiculous.
Okay, we're cutting them out. Bye. Okay. Okay, so what do we have left in the podcast here? We've done peaks of the week. We have done the pick six. We got the commission here for the commissioner's corner. And what else are we left with now?
Well, the only thing we were going to do is talk about the matchup of the week, and we kind of alluded a little bit. I think the matchups are me versus Nick to determine the second seed.
Yeah.
And get that second bye. And I also think the Jenna game versus Gregory is pretty big as well.
I actually think the Jenna Gregory game is the matchup of the week. Even though the projections right now are pretty Jenna-sided, we have all seen projections throughout this season just blow in a totally different direction. Last week I was projected, I think, like 20 points, 25 points above her, and I ended up losing.
I was projected 140 to Rob's 110.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for me?
So even though Jenna is projected so much higher right now, I could see this projection just falling off, and I think this is actually the game because she needs this win, and she needs this win more than anything. She needs this win and some help from Julie, but I'm looking at Jenna as the game of the week. I think that's the one you need to look out for because, that's going to determine playoffs right there.
All right. Well, it was nice having you guys. I'm glad you could finally meet El Tigre.
Our stats person in the back, our stats tiger.
And we'll talk next week. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, have a happy Thanksgiving. Next week we'll talk about playoffs, right?
Playoffs.
And everything going down there. So until then, adios everybody from Dub Street. Bye.